want no fuss and we don't want to hurt you, all right?
Yeah, we just want your money, that's all.
And you'll give it to us, won't you, without any fuss?
Ignaz!
Jeez, she cooked him. Alright, hey everybody. That was an interesting note to start things on. Welcome to Chapter 2 of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Now, who could have guessed a woman named Espella would be accused of being a witch? Well, what is this place? The room is lit, but it's still somehow dark. The atmosphere feels heavy. Nick, what are we doing in a place like this? How should I know? We're just a couple of bakers, but I don't think they brought us here to make bread. Yikes, is it just me or is that guard staring daggers at us right now? Mr. Wright, Maya. Spella, what's exactly going on? I'm sorry, I'm the one who sent you both. You sent for us? I'm being put on trial. Wait, what? What happened? I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't possibly murder anyone. Murder? I beg you, Mr. Wright, please, I need your help. Just one more time. You need my help? What could I possibly do? Spella, I'm just a baker. The only thing I know about law is how not to get on the wrong side of it. Wait, hold on a sec. Spella, what did you say? You needed Nick's help just one more time? One more time? I'm not quite sure myself, but when the knights came and took me, a vision suddenly appeared in my mind. It was Mr. Wright. He was fighting for me, defending me, the brave blue figure. It was clear as day. I was fighting for you? No way, that's impossible. I mean, it's like I already said. I'm just a baker. I have a hard enough time rolling dough, let alone defending someone in court. I thought the same thing too at first, but I don't think it's quite true. You and Maya, at some time, somewhere, you helped me. You fought for me as a defender. A defender? What's wrong, Nick? Wish I knew, Maya, but hearing Espella mention a defender. Can't help but feel something inside of me just burning at the mention of it. Accused! Defender! It is time. Head forth, you two. Head forth? Where are we going exactly? To the courtroom, which today's trial will be taking place. The Chamber of Fire. Chamber? Fire? Make haste. If you're but a moment late, a guilty verdict will be delivered immediately. What? No way. Mr. Wright. I'm truly sorry, Mr. Wright. I know this is all so sudden. It's a lost cause then, isn't it? Well then, let's head inside, Espella. Huh? This overwhelming pressure, it feels so familiar somehow. Almost like deja vu. Mr. Wright. Let's go, Maya. Maybe we'll get a better idea once the trial gets underway. Alright, let's do it. Do it to it, Nick. At least this game takes away a lot of the exposition before the trials.
What is this heat? It's like an oven in here.
I will now pronounce the verdict. This court finds the accused guilty of being a witch.
No! I'm not a witch! Please, I beg you to reconsider! I'm not...
Witches are to be cast straight into the hellfire!
What?
No!
Now that's an efficient justice system.
So this is the witch's court.
So, how you feeling, Nick? forgotten what this felt like up until now. Huh? The butterflies in my stomach, the tension so thick you could slice it with a knife. All of these feelings. These are all feelings that I'm definitely familiar with. Anyway. We're here to fight for Espella and get her out of this place. That's right.
The court is now in session for the trial of Espella Cantabella. Defender.
Yes, Your Honor?
Yours is a face I've not seen in any past trials. But no matter. Start by stating your name, Defender.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Phoenix Wright, Ace Baker.
A baker?
I asked him to come, my lord. I want him to represent me. This court dictates that the accused is free to assign a defender of their choosing, my lord.
Very well.
As long as you didn't get the butcher or the candlestick maker.
At any rate, the result of this trial shall not change. That aside, I've not yet seen hide nor hair of the Inquisitor assigned to this trial.
Inquisitor? Oh, right. I should have noticed earlier. No one's there.
Should the assigned Inquisitor fail to appear in court, I will have no choice but to dismiss all charges. He is an Inquisitor of high caliber, but if he does not come forward soon, this trial will end, and victory will then be declared in favor of this baker.
Hold it!
Knights of the Court, I have but one question for you both. Are you prepared to cross swords?
Whoa, phrasing.
I, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, am indeed prepared to do battle, my lord.
Something amiss, Baker?
Sorry, Your Honor. I just didn't realize we could have swords here in the courtroom.
It is the way of the court knight. A knight must always ensure that he rides with a blade at his side. Now then, state your name, Sir Blue Knight.
Huh? My name's Phoenix Wright. I'm a baker. How many times will they make me say it?
A baker?
Nick, quit with the long face. You look miserable.
No need to waste your breath. This trial will be over before you can utter a single objection. For the security of all of Labyrinthia, my blade shall rend your defenses swiftly and without mercy.
Put that doughy defender on trial too. Oh boy, what's with all this excitement? I hardly think this is a courtroom. The crowd doesn't seem very interested in law, that's for sure. It's just like they're all interested, hoping for a guilty verdict. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. First, let us begin by recounting the events leading up to the murder. Is that acceptable, Sir Apprentice Baker? As you wish. The murder occurred this very evening. Yesterday, there was heavy rainfall in the area. Eventually, it gave way to sunshine, which came just in time for today's parade, although a few hours after the parade ended, the rain set in once more. That must have been when Espella and the others were in the Great Archive. It continued to rain until just before the incident, which took place at a small path leading to the market. The accused had been out doing some shopping at the market. She returned home on that very same path. And on that forest path, two rogues named Robs and Muggs are said to have accosted the accused. One could assume the accused simply acted in self-defense. I see. Robs and Muggs. Those two have appeared in court a number of times in the past. Two rogues, huh? So far, it may appear that the accused was more the victim. However, the situation soon changed. That's right. The accused, Espella Cantabella, knowingly and mercilessly murdered her two assailants. Cantabella, that girl, isn't she? I always knew she looked suspicious. She's got so loud. Yikes, that's that weird excitement again. I believe we now fully grasp what happened. It's getting late already. Let us begin the trial. Inquisitor Barnum, you may now begin. As you wish, my lord. The Inquisition will now hear eyewitness testimony regarding the night of the murder. Eyewitness testimony, huh? Looks like this trial's finally getting underway. Can't back down now, I have to fight. But I'm just a simple bread-making baker, living a simple bread-making life. The situation's more twisted than a pretzel, and I'm smack in the middle of it. But I have to do this to save Espella. Okay, let's see if I can untwist this testimony and put this thing to bed. Oh, it's Mary. Mary, quite contrary. Allow me to welcome you all. Now, would each of you please state your name and occupation?
Hold it!
Wait a minute. What's going on here? As I already explained, Sir Apprentice Baker, this is the eyewitness testimony. Yes, I understand that, but there are 4 witnesses? Indeed. As many people inside the courtroom could pose a health and safety issue. Your Honor, that's not quite what I meant. Witness testimonies are supposed to be done one-on-one, as in one witness at a time. What are you talking about, child? We'd be here all night if we did that. That's right, young man. We have witnessed the very hand of fate reach out to us this evening. Could we hurry this along, perhaps? These flowers won't sell themselves, as much as my boss wishes they would. The path to knighthood is an arduous one, but I remain steadfast in my resolve as I travel down this long road. I shall not falter. I will be victorious. He's got a bit of a wiggly sword there. Who cares? Just question them all at once. We already know the girl in the cage did it. Let's get on with it. Yeah, finish this already. I need to get home and get back to bed. Witnesses, again, state your names and occupations. I am known as Wordsmith. But what is a name? How doth one describe an occupation? Like the bubbling of a babbling brook. I flow gracefully around the rocks and debris. That is life, nary a worry in mind. Right, so I guess that means he's unemployed. My name is Mary, and this is darling kitty Snowy. Snowy and I often travel to the edge of town to sell delicious fresh milk. Milk like that doesn't happen every night. I work my hands to the bone, squeezing each drop out, quite literally. That sounds pretty frightening. I'm Kira. I'm a flower seller. If you would all be so kind, feel free to purchase one of my beautiful flowers at any time during the trial. There's no way I'll sell them all by the morning. Oh, the life of a flower girl is so hard. He's talking about the hard sell. My name is Nightle. I am the joy our town's order of knights. I study night and day, though I am still but a mere squire. Having trouble talking. Joining the Knights of the Inquisition is my life's ambition, and I, Nightle, will do whatever necessary to join. So he's unemployed too. Honorable witnesses, I ask that you show the court your best when delivering your testimonies. Now, tell us what exactly you all saw on this ill-fated eve. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance. Muggs grabbed the girl by the arm. Looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames. There's not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used. Magic? Sir Apprentice Baker, you may now begin your interrogation. I have but one piece of advice. I suggest you pay it heed. Do not waste the court's time by grilling these witnesses over irrelevant nonsense, Sir Apprentice Baker. You all right, Nick? I sure love calling you an Apprentice Baker, huh? I'll be honest with you, Maya. I have no idea how I'm feeling right now, but I know it's all up to me as her defender. Spella's fate is in my hands. I have to believe in her, and I need to start believing in myself. I can do this, and I believe Spella is innocent, and I'll fight until the end to prove it. Yeah, that's the spirit. We can do this thing, Nick.
Hold it!
What time would that be exactly? Dinner time. When else would the scent of dinner be in the air, if not dinner time? Do you see? Not so much. The sun had already set by that time. That should be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight. Is that correct? I've been dubbed a witness, thus I must clearly have witnessed something. Do you see? In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at the time? Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see? No, that doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't have possibly witnessed anything. Do you see? Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what that sight was. Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker. I hate to disappoint you, but there was, in fact, light in the area. Huh? Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witnesses' accounts, as penned by the court illustrator. The court illustrator? Never heard that before. Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder. An illustration of the highest quality, as always. Now then, we've established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. And so, naturally, defendant was carrying a fire-lit lantern, as we can see. A lantern? Eureka, indeed. Yes, that is what I was saying earlier. There was a lantern I say. Oh, please, you totally forgot. To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... My lord, here is the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area. Very well. The court accepts this into evidence. Speaking of which, in Cousin Barnum, in this drawing, the accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts. What became of this? That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene. The milk bucket disappeared, you say? There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought that they often make off with items as they find on the ground. Great, wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me never to set foot in that forest. This is great, Nick. We've got new evidence now. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, Nick, you don't really look like just some normal run-of-the-mill baker. I'd say you're more of a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might even have a knack for being a defender. There's a clear contradiction somewhere in this testimony, and I'm going to find it. The glass is broken and it's covered in mud.
Hold it!
Muggs was one of the two rogues, is that correct? That's right. That man, he grabbed the girl's arm and pulled out a knife. Is something wrong? Or was it Robs that grabbed the girl and had the knife? Huh? Oh dear. Now let's see. Muggs was the short one and Robs was the... No. I think it's the other way around. Well, it doesn't really matter which one it was now, does it? That's all well and good, but I was kind of hoping you'd just testify about the lantern. Honorable witnesses, please continue with the testimonies.
Hold it!
Exactly whose cry did you hear? Well, it was the accused. It was Isabela's voice, of course. And did you get a good look at Miss Cantabella's face? Yes, I mean, she was carrying that huge lantern after all. You're only sure because all the other witnesses just finished saying they saw her with the lantern.
Hold it!
Isn't it a bit premature to assume it was magic? What a absurd statement. Say what? Think about it. The maze were engulfed in flames in the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye. There was not a single trace of any other fire source to be found in that area. Not a trace. Did I hear that right? I think I just found a contradiction in the testimony. Pretty much the most obvious contradiction. Because where there's lanterns, there's fire. Yeah, I get it.
Objection!
Oh, what's the matter, defender? What is this feeling? I just felt the urge to shout out right from the bottom of my lungs while pointing my finger. Objection! I can't help but feel that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything. The League of Attorneys exchange, Isabela's trial, and then that strange book. This feeling. I feel like I can take on the world. Witness! Who was with the sudden pointer? I'm a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. Have at you. You say no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case. What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker? What I mean is the defendant was, in fact, carrying a lantern containing fire. Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside the lantern. That is the only logical explanation. My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. What do you mean? The only logical explanation? Do you agree with this statement, honorable witnesses? It's presumptuous for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing. What? Besides, how could one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set both ablaze like that? There were two of them. How could the flame engulf them so fast? Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest they were soaked in oil or something? Oh. Well, Sir Blue Knight, it seemed you've bitten off a bit more than you can chew. Oh, I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on the proceedings thus far? Given the testimony as we've heard it, this court has come to its conclusion. 'Twas a truly gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could be held responsible. A nefarious crime of magic!
Hold it!
Oh, wait just a second. Is there something you've forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, I mean, you said magic. That can't be right, can it? What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of the world, is it not? Well, yeah, that kind of seems to be the case. But no way is that actually possible. This court finds Isabella Cantabella, the accused, charged with being a witch. Isabella, a witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself. The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense, indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire. No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch. Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Objection!
But there's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used. Put a sock in it, bread boy. We all heard her cast the spell. Huh? That's right, Snaily and I heard it. Isn't that right, Precious? We heard the incantation quite clearly. That frightening voice. There was no mistaking it. It was Isabelle's voice. These ears do not lie. I clearly heard the incantation most sinister. Ignace it went. Incantation. Ignace? It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy otherworldly court. Well then, seem the defense has no further objections. It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer. Nick, we have to do something. I know, but what exactly can we say? Here, in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless.
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Isabella Cantabella.
Hold it.
Dun dun dun!
Your Honor, I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense. A weapon of sorts.
That's...
The Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its page. Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
the Grand Grimoire.
We meet again, Mr. Wright. Well now, seems things are already afoot here, although a real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared? So, are you here to help us? Of course! Professor always helps people in trouble. It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor? Professor? There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action. Right. You've been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I'm a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its system of magic. Yeah, how can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story. Is that so? I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker. And, well, how magic can't really exist. Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are, in fact, a citizen, not, in fact, a citizen of this town, is that correct? Right, at least it seems that way. However, for now, we have no option but to accept this world and its rules as a reality. Without first understanding those rules, I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Cantabella. But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe. I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such truth cannot be denied. Indeed, that is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword. I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually. Right then, Mr. Wright, I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works. Have a look at the touchscreen. There you'll see the Grand Grimoire button. Opening up the Grand Grimoire button will open up the Grand Grimoire. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going ahead and bookmark the spell Ignitize in Nace for you. Inferno spell. Ignaze. That's the magic spell all of the witnesses said they heard, right? Nick, you should take a look at that spell. The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem this trial has reached its end. Is that understood, Sir Apprentice Baker? This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt. The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. So the Ignitize, she has to have a scepter in order to cast it, but none of the witnesses said she had a scepter. And even the drawing, she doesn't have a scepter. This murder was a result of magic, and furthermore, the caster of said magic was none other than the accused. That, Sir Apprentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled. Is everything okay, Mr. Wright? Yes. It seems that photographs do not exist in this world. Photos don't exist. Guess that makes sense. Ye old time period and all. The sketch drawn by the court illustrator, therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright. My final chance. I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony, however, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration. There's another contradiction? In that case, I still hope I can turn this around. Mr. Wright, you have to hurry. Look, the judge. He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now. This is it. This is my last chance. What should I do?
Hold it!
1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
You're already out of time. All testimony and evidence given thus far has been proven to be accurate.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. There's just one thing you've overlooked, a piece of evidence within this book. The Grand Grimoire? Absurd. I overlooked something, but you are the defender here. You should have examined the tome earlier. You're right, I should have. But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker until just now. Interesting. You've certainly begun to show your true colors, Sir Blue Knight. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. How about you? defender will now show us this supposed contradiction. The court illustration and the Grand Grimoire. Somewhere there's a contradiction between these two, and I've got to find it. This is my last chance.
Got it!
The hand of the accused? She appears to be holding a milk bucket. Yes, but the milk bucket was said to have vanished from the crime scene. It's quite possible that there's an important reason behind its disappearance. Inquisitor Barnum, what are your thoughts on this? It is quite mysterious indeed, my lord. However, the Inquisition believes it bears no relation to this case. Forest wolves simply came and stole the bucket, nothing more. Let us not dwell on the milk bucket for the time being, Mr. Wright. Rather, we should first consider any information within the Grand Grimoire that may lead us to a contradiction. She doesn't have a scepter.
Got it!
The contradiction is right here. The hand of the accused, she seems to be holding a lantern. What is your point? According to this tome, using the spell Ignaze requires the use of a witch's scepter, as well as an incantation. Isn't that right? Correct. For witches to use magic, they also must be in possession of a witch's scepter, also known as a Telia Magica. If that's the case, then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Mrs. Cantabella's hands. Tell me, do you see the witch's scepter in either of her hands? There we go. Let's see you point that sword at me now. You did it, Mr. Wright. But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious? Maybe right, Luke. It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well. That is correct, Sir Apprentice Baker, but you should not underestimate me. This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? This right here is the very scepter you mentioned. One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery on the side of the path. Ah, yes, indeed. That was I located it. My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing and sent me flying through the air. Somehow, I'm not surprised to hear you fell, Gramps. The scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air. Indeed, my lord. However, the scepter will only work while in the hands of a witch, with the incantation being said aloud. Oh, that's too bad. I wanted to try some lighting stuff on fire. Please don't look at me when you say that. You see, there are two magic gems set in the scepter. These gems each contain a particular magic spell. By simply looking at these magic gems, they can easily determine which magic spell can be used. Is that the red magic gem? Indeed, the red gem you see here is the spell Ignaze, and if you look carefully, you should notice that the scepter also has one more spell that can be used. One more spell. It must be the white gem. Mr. Wright, I found it. Here's the spell for the white magic gem. Vanishing spell. causes anything to cast or touches to vanish from sight. Ugh. So you managed to work it out in that crusty head of yours. And that's just... it can't be. The reason the witch's scepter couldn't be seen is because the magic spell Demir had made it disappear? That's right. In other words, the accused can conjure the cowardly spell to camouflage your own use of magic. No, no way. Dr. Barnum, please submit the scepter in evidence.
Objection!
Hold on, please. Is there a problem, Sir Baker? Okay, I understand this is a witch's scepter. However, whether or not the scepter was in Mrs. Cantabella's possession has not been proven. What are you talking about, Sir Apprentice Baker? Isn't it obvious? I'm talking about fingerprints. Supposing Miss Cantabella did in fact handle the witch's scepter, then her fingerprints would still be on it. Well, what's with the silence? You said fingerprints? Mr. Ballner. Don't you just swear? I haven't the slightest clue, my lord. This is the baker's first time in court, after all. Huh? I'm afraid it's no use, Mr. Wright. In this world, it would seem the concept of fingerprinting does not yet exist. What? I can't believe it. As I have said already, best you head back to the bakery, lest you continue to serve this court more of your half-baked ideas. Not as half-baked as your terrible puns, Barnum. Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world where witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating. What the heck? There are just way too many things out there I don't know about this world. Mr. Wright. I believe you may be able to take these things so you don't know and use them to your advantage. Huh? The Inquisition believes there's no room for debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal a magic. Better luck next time, Sir Apprentice Baker. May your next loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths. Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I asked you to render your unwavering verdict.
Objection!
Pardon the interruption. May I have a word in Questioner Barnum? What's that? Who might you be? My name is Herschel Layton. I'm a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm what you believe happened on the night of the crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through your use of magic. Is that correct? Indeed, through the magic spell Demir. If possible, would you mind providing proof of this particular claim? What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, that is one possibility. However, a wise man must always consider every possibility. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual hat? The Inquisition cannot honor this request for proof. If you're asserting that the accused is not with the... Yeah, excuse me. I'm getting a little out of it. If you are asserting that the accused is not a witch, then the burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Come on, it's the prosecutor Inquisition's job to prove a crime was committed. As I thought indeed, it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. How regrettable, Sir Apprentice Baker, and you, Sir Dark Hat. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it here for now. We're kind of in the middle of things, I realize, but I'm going to have to quit, and we'll have more of this on Sunday, though, and with Broken Sword in between. We'll probably be finishing that on Monday, or maybe have a new game on Monday and finish it on Friday. We'll see what happens. So yeah, hope everybody had a good time and is having a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Later.